got rhythm in my soul. Can you feel it? Let your body move. Let your body move. Let your body move. Let your body move. Ooh. Mm-mm. Oh yeah, I've got rhythm in my soul. I've got rhythm in my soul. Can you feel it? Let your body move. Let your body move. Let your body move. Let your body move.
Welcome. You have just tuned in to the book of Jennesis. Get ready to fasten your seatbelts because we are stepping all the way out the box and breaking all the rules. Are you ready? Are you sure? Well, let's get into it. Here is your host, the wonderful, the beautiful, the intelligent, the wise Jennesis.
Hey, YouTube. Happy hump day, y'all. I'm in here on a Wednesday. I'm so proud of myself because y'all know I was struggling to get here on Saturdays. And I told y'all that I would be popping in doing a random video. And here I am. I was actually going to do something pre-recorded, but y'all know I'll be outside. And I was outside, so I didn't get an opportunity to pre-record. So I'm here. And as I said before, that I was going to be sharing a little bit more of my story. Y'all know it's levels to this. So I'm going to give a little bit more of the story today. You know what? I'll be creating this stuff so fast, I'll be forgetting what the titles are. But this title is about how Mr. Walker that's what I'm gonna call him from here on out. Mr. Walker hopped out of the car in traffic. Yeah, y'all know living with a narcissist is something else. The emotional toll that it takes on you. And that's my reason for sharing the story. So I said in the previous stream from Saturday, if you didn't watch it, then you got to go back and tune in and get the story from there about how he had walked from his home and walked several miles and walked on to the expressway. Hey, Miss Creative. So I shared in the previous stream how he had walked from his home, like down a busy street onto the expressway, which was like several miles. I don't even know how many miles, y'all. And until the girlfriend picked him up. Well, I had a similar story. Actually, I had two similar stories. And I'm gonna share both of those today. So y'all, we in the car driving. And I don't know where we were going, but we were going to downtown Chicago. So we're driving in the car, and anybody that has been to Chicago knows that, like, at rush hour time, it is busy. Like, it's cars everywhere. And once you get to past a certain point, It's just bumper to bumper. I kind of like how I've heard that the 405 is at rush hour. I ain't been on the 405, even though I've been through, LA a time or two. So we're on the expressway. Expressway is crowded, so I'm in a hurry, y'all. I don't like sitting in traffic, so I'm trying to get to where I'm going. And I decide that I'm going to take a detour. I'm going to go get off the expressway, go through what they call like the Chinatown area. There's a street called Cermak, 22nd Street. So I get off the expressway at 22nd Street, and y'all, I'm gonna try and paint the picture for y'all so y'all understand what was happening. But um I get out, I get off the expressway. As you're exiting the expressway, hey soul toucher, hey cousin, how you doing? Um so I get off the expressway, and the ramp to get off is just one lane. But once you get off, it opens up to, I believe, 3 lanes or 4 lanes. I'm pretty sure it's like 4 lanes. It's like 2 turning lanes, one direction, 2 turning lanes, the other direction, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm in one of the turning lanes to turn right. And right where you make this exit, there is a viaduct. In Chicago, we call it a viaduct, but it's a viaduct. So right where you exit, the viaduct is to your right. And when you go under the viaduct, literally you make your turn, and at the end of the viaduct is another set of lights. So I get off, I'm in the second to the right lane, making my right hand turn. And I get under the viaduct, and of course, I get caught at the light. The next light, like, is right there. So I've probably only traveled maybe 75 feet, 100 feet at the most. I'm not sure. I'm not good at the measurements with stuff like that. And next thing I know, my door flings open. Y'all know how in a police chase, when they running from the police, they scare and stop, and the door fling open, and they take out and take off running. I stop at the light, and my door flings open, and out the car he goes. So I'm looking around like, what the hell? So, oh, soul toucher, you said they called it that in Baltimore too, right? Black folks, we gonna change everything. We have our own little language. We have to put our Ebonic spin on it. So it's not a viaduct, it's a viaduct. So y'all, I stop at the light, the door fling open. Pew, he gone. He out of there. And we had been arguing about something in the car. I don't even know. But whatever it wasn't nothing major. Just show you how they like go into a rage over like the smallest things. So he went into his rage. He flung the door open. Out the car he goes. And so I'm looking like, okay, what the hell am I supposed to do now? I don't even know what's going on at this point. Now, this is where I went wrong, because when crazy happening, you don't really know what to do, how to respond. So now I'm in traffic, as I told y'all, and coming off this exit ramp, there's cars literally, bumper to bumper. Probably some of the cars probably weren't able to make that turn. You know how you make a turn, you get caught at one light, like the timing of the signals is off. It was kind of one of those things. So he hops out the car, and of course my light turns green. So okay, well shoot, I got to go through the green light, because where I was, I couldn't make a left turn after he had darted across the street. So, hey, Mandrell, what's with that growth? I don't have a growth on my finger other than rings, the same rings that I've had. So he darts out and crosses the street, goes across the street, and I am like, okay, what do I do? So I go through the green light after it turns green, and there's like a bunch of lights in succession right there, because it's a high traffic area. So I go up to where I can turn around and come back, on the same 22nd Street. I turn around so that I can come back in the same direction so that now I can make a right turn onto the street that I see him walking down. Yes, it is the same ring, same ring. Yeah, I'm not taking it off until something else replaces it. And anybody that don't have a problem with that, then that ain't my problem. But it is what it is. Um, so I make my right turn and I catch up to him and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Hey, Primal Studies. I catch up to him like, what the hell is going on? Like, why'd you jump out the car? And, I tell y'all, when you suffering some kind of abuse, then, it all runs together because there's so many things and there were so many incidents. So I can't remember what his response was about why he sassy boots. Yeah. Hey, Jedi Mike. So I'm asking him like, why he jumped out the car. He gave whatever explanation. And I know that, he doesn't know this neighborhood. And, it's Chinatown, but it's not Chinatown. Like literally on the side of the viaduct where he is goes into like a different area, but on the other side of the viaduct, like for I don't know how many miles, is where like the Chinatown area. Well, you know, it ain't regular that, Black folks is walking through Chinatown like that. You may go there, go to a restaurant or whatever destination you're going to, but not really walking down the street. So he's walking. I'm trying to convince him to like get in the car. Like, I don't care if you're mad. You can stay mad. Just get back in the car. Stop acting a fool. And wherever we were on our way, now, now that's prolonged or we're gonna be late or whatever it was that was going on. So he's walking down the street. And this is still a regular street where there's other traffic coming. And I'm slow driving, trying to talk out the window to him as I'm driving, trying to get him to get. So I did that for about, I don't know, maybe a block and a half or 2 blocks. I'm holding up traffic, people blowing their horn at me, cars speeding around me because they probably thinking, what is this crazy lady doing in the street holding up traffic? But they don't know that I'm dealing with a whole crazy situation that's on the curb or on the sidewalk. So he does his thing. He's walking down the street. I can't convince him. So, okay, I'm just going to drive on down the street and pull over and see if, he will act, then came to his senses and he going to get in the car. Pull over. He walks up to where my car is and he keeps going. And he like said something slick, in a like nasty tone or whatever. I'm not about to argue with you, but again, I don't really know. This is the first time that this has happened. So I don't really know what the response is. And then the human side of me, the sane side of me is like, okay, well, you can't leave this man out here. So you either got to wait till he comes to his senses or something. And if there was no like public transportation nearby where he could like, I could leave him and be like, okay, he just got a 10-minute bus ride back home or whatever. So I'm waiting. He still won't get in the car. He's standing on the curb. He's yelling. And I'm sitting there looking like, what the hell am I involved in right now? But I let him do whatever his little rant was. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm not about to stay here with him all night. I got stuff to do. I need to, get back home or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm going to wait a few minutes. If he don't get it together, then I'm going to like, threaten him. But I'm going to say, you better get in this car or I'm going to leave you. So I'm like, come on, I'm not about to stay here with you. I'm going to leave. You're going to have to be figuring out how you're going to get home. So he tells me, well, just leave me. Don't threaten me with good time because guess what? I'm going to leave you because maybe you got something, planned that I don't. You got it worked out and I don't know what you're planning to do. And Eventually I left. So I'm like, now, okay, I left this man. What am I supposed to do? Like, I need to call somebody. Well, hell, who do you call? Because I'm the wife. So I can't send out an SOS to nobody at this point. And then, I'm still like in protection mode because he would have these like outbursts or manic episodes or whatever it was. And I knew that the relationship with the parents was strained. I didn't necessarily want to call them and tell them what was happening because, I didn't want him to suffer like the backlash of that. But that's probably what I should have done, but didn't call the parents. So I just left him be like, okay, after he comes down off of this manic episode, he'll come to his senses, he'll call me, and I'll, turn around or something like that if I haven't gotten too far or whatever. I don't know. I didn't really know what was going to happen. So I turn around and I'm headed home. And because I still just didn't want to leave because, my spirit is torn at this point. Like, okay, leave him because he acting crazy, but my personality, who I am, I don't just leave somebody stranded like that. So, okay, I'm still like hoping that he gets his crap together and, comes to his senses. And then I'll just turn around and go pick him up and then, let him rant or whatever. I ain't going to say nothing to him. Once I know that he's in a familiar area, then if he want to walk 10 or 15 miles, then that's your business. But it didn't happen on my watch because when that kind of situation, you never know what somebody is going to do, what's going to happen. If the person gets run over by a car, they get robbed or something like that. We in Chicago. um you don't know what's going to happen and you don't want that on your conscience. So that was kind of my reasoning for sticking around during this manic episode. So I decide after a while that I'm going to call the cell phone. I'm going to call his cell phone. Let me call the cell phone, try and talk some sense into this fool, before I get too far away. And I would normally, because I didn't live in Chicago, I didn't live, I don't know how many miles it was between where we were and where we lived at the time. So I didn't want to go, too far. I would normally take the expressway back home. So I'm like on side streets, trying to like, take the scenic route home or at least take the scenic route as far as I could go so that if I did have to turn around, I wouldn't be that far away. So I'm on the street. And let me go back and add that I just told y'all we were in Chicago, right? So ain't, they still had areas of Chicago. Chicago is like nice in one area, and then you go 5 blocks over yonder and you in the hood. So it's like dangerous or whatever. And I'm driving through these communities, and I don't know what kind of community it is, if I'm supposed to be there. Y'all know what I mean when I say if I'm supposed to be there. I don't know, what that kind of situation is, what direction he gonna go in or whatever. So I'm slow driving, calling the cell phone. For a point, he wouldn't answer. I'm still driving slow. Like, okay, once the manic episode is over and he cools down, then he's gonna call me to come and pick him up because he's gonna realize like how crazy this is. Nope, no call. So I'm still on the streets and making my way home. Now, I don't know about narcissism. I don't know about setting no boundaries. All I know is somebody that was in the car with me hopped out. They're having an episode of some kind, and I can't just bail because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how much time went by, y'all. I'm still driving. At least probably 45 minutes to an hour, maybe. Could have been longer, could have been shorter. I don't know. Still, the whole while, I'm still, I would call back to back a couple times. I wait 10, 15 minutes, try calling again, still no answer. So finally, he decides to call me. When he decides to call me, his one of his sisters at the time lived in this apartment complex. Um, it's like two apartment complexes like right next to each other. Prairie Shores, Lake Meadows, is where they're living. He had walked to it's now I told y'all we were on 22nd Street. He's walked to 39th Street, but he started out kind of sort of in the middle, like, between east and west. Now he's far east and he's walked 17 blocks south. Okay, well, they called him Mr. Walker. Well, y'all know, look, wait, hold on. Let me give the backstory. Oh, wow, I'm calling him Mr. Walker. I'm calling him Mr. Walker because he had told me a story that in college, he didn't have a car. So he would be walking to wherever he went. And sometimes he would be walking for long distances. And he did this regularly. So the kids at school would call him Walker. So now he a grown man, so I'm gonna say Mr. Walker, because you still the same old walking fool. You just a grown man. Hey, we on Lock Nation. So Mr. Walker done made it all the way to 39th Street over East. He calls me. Now, at this point, I'm like way on the south side of Chicago, like in Inglewood, in the hood. I told y'all I was trying to go slow. So, because I knew at some point the manic episode was going to be over. I'm going to have to go get him. In his mind, he wasn't getting picked up by me. He had walked to the sister's house because he was going to try and get a ride from the sister and have her bring him all the way back to the suburbs. He got to the sister's house and she wasn't at home. When she wasn't at home, then that's when he called me because reality set in. Like, okay, I can't walk all the way to the suburbs. Hell, it'll take me a day to get back there. And I don't know, he was close where he actually could have gotten on the train. He could have gone to the train station and taken the train there and then walked if he, after he got off the train, if that's what he wanted to do, but he didn't. So he calls and I picked him. I turn around, I go back and pick him up and you're doing the right thing, but then you're mad because you're doing the right thing. So all the while I'm going back there where he tells me to pick him up, I'm like, I should just leave his ass. I should have just kept going. I should, to teach him a lesson. But I didn't, my little soft ass. I went back and picked him up. And when I went and picked him up, I'm fuming all the way there. I finally get there, he's standing on the street looking stupid. He gets in the car and you know how you want to ask somebody like, why the hell would you do that? You just wasted all this damn time where you went walking, we never made it to wherever hell we were going. I had to turn around. I'm burning up gas because, I'm driving through these neighborhoods and then I got to turn around and come all the way back to get you. But he got in the car and we go home, we probably weren't speaking for a couple days, that was like a regular thing to not be speaking, sometimes for weeks. So we make it back home and that's it. So now y'all would think that after that whole episode that I would be over with Mr. Walker shenanigans, right? Nope, I wasn't. And that's why setting boundaries is important. And, at hindsight 2020, you would kick yourself after the fact. I didn't kick myself at the time and I didn't set a boundary because I turned around and went and picked him up. Don't y'all know he pulled that again? Only this time he was driving. And I don't know how much time was in between the episodes, but we are we're in the car going. My house has always kind of been like the gathering place for the kids' friends. My older two daughters, their friends would come over, stay for days or whatever, eating up all my groceries because I had a kind of household. If they come in, I'm gonna feed them because that's what I do. So I'm feeding the kids. And Miss Creative say my tolerance is very low for crazy people. She said, "Baby, he is a true nut basket." Hey, Anye, Miss Creative, girl, when I tell y'all like the stuff that I went through, it is crazy. And I told y'all I'm gonna tell y'all some of the juiciest stories. So you know this is, I guess, one of them, or it's a little bit more, it's levels to it. So um he we're going to the next episode where he jumps out the car. This time he's driving. I got the kids. Oh, my middle daughter, her friend is over, and I'm gonna get pizza for them, because I'm not about to cook. We on Like Nation say, "Are you okay?" Absolutely, I'm okay. I can laugh about the stories now. You know how once you go through something and you're over it, you can laugh about how crazy it was or how silly you were at the time. But it definitely was not funny when I was going through it. Um, so y'all, I got the kids over and I'm like, I'm not about to cook. It's the weekend. I'm gonna just order pizza and that's what they're gonna eat. So we ordered pizza from this restaurant in Chicago called Beggar's Pizza. If you know, it ain't the deep dish stuff, but their motto is we lay it on thick. So we going to Beggar's Pizza to get a pizza for the kids to eat. And it was about maybe a 20-minute drive, 25-minute drive to the nearest location to pick up this pizza. So we're in the car headed to the restaurant, and he's mad about something again. Key, another manic episode. He's driving the car. I'm in the passenger seat. He pulls into like some random gas station. And this is in a suburb, but it's not one of the good suburbs. It's this town called Markham. So, and it's late at night. Y'all know on the weekend, a pizza restaurant is open, late at night. So I want to say it's about like 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. Cause it was a late night meal that we were eating. He pulls into the gas station and he hops out of the car. And you know how, you get out to pump the gas. He had pulled up at a pump. He pulls up at the pump. I'm thinking to get gas. So my silly self sitting in the passenger seat, just sitting back chilling. And I see him walk to the back of the car and, nobody carries cash. You pay at the pump. So I'm thinking he going to the pump, maybe he got to get something out of the trunk or whatever. He digging in his wallet to get, his debit card out or something. I'm sitting there. After a while, it's like silence. I don't hear nothing. So I started looking around. I'm like, where does fool go? Because where the car is positioned at the pump, the gas station, with the little store or whatever, shop mart or whatever, is in front of me. So, well, he can't be back there all this time, like having trouble with his card. He didn't go in the station, but I'm looking around, I don't see him. So I'm like, okay. So it still ain't registered to me what's going on. So I get out of the car. I'm walking around to the back of the car, like trying to make sure the fool ain't passed out back there and, and I missed it or whatever. Nope. Go to the back of the car. Nothing. He's nowhere to be found. At the point where we are on the street, there's nothing but this gas station here. It's pitch black everywhere else around us. So I'm like, oh, shoot, here we go again. He done wandered off somewhere. So I get back in the car in the driver's seat and I pull out the gas station and, start heading in the only direction where he could be, because, there's like, it's on the corner, but where we're at the pump is not like right at the corner. So if he had walked in one direction, I could have looked and saw him, down at that end. Nope. So he had to go the other way. So I get in, I turn the car, I go around, and he's a dark guy, like dark, dark. And I told y'all it's pitch black, right? So it ain't, and he dressed in black. I'm driving down the street in the dark. I can barely see him. Like, I can be, hey, Jill's Chocolate Boutique. Thanks. You said she finally caught my live. Yeah, I just popped in here doing this random like story time. So I'm driving down the street. I'm looking for this crazy fool. Mr. Walker is nowhere to be found. I drive a little bit more. Like, he must have been walking fast because that joker was out of there. He was down the street. But I did catch up to him eventually. And I'm like, why did you get out the car? Why did you, abandon the car at the gas station or whatever? I'm on one side of the street. He's on the other side. It's a median. This is like, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 lanes in either direction. So, he way across yonder. I'm not about to be yelling out this window talking to you. So now y'all know I ain't set the boundary last time, but I ain't gonna be the same fool twice. I bet you I'm not about to be driving slow tonight, trying to wait till till your manic episode is over and you come down. So I said, a couple times, like, get in the car. What are you doing? Like, this is crazy. And he's mumbling whatever. He, like ignoring me, like, look over. I ain't thinking about what you talking about or whatever. He keeps walking. Okay, you gonna learn today, buddy. I hit the gas. I'm gone. Cause I'm not about to wait around with you. I got kids at home waiting to eat, and you playing, you having your crazy episode. So I left him. Now I told y'all before, I didn't want to call the parents because of the relationship that they had. He had a slightly better relationship with the grandparents, had the grandparents' numbers. Now, mind you, the grandparents live all the way in Texas. So I'm like, well, I ain't gonna call the parents because I know that ain't gonna really go well. And then it's gonna be some more crazy that I'm going to have to deal with after that if I call them. So let me call the grandparents because he has a respect for them. He'll go crazy with the grandparents. So I called the grandparents. Now, mind y'all, I told y'all it's late at night. You got me calling these old people late at night, knowing that they probably been in the bed at 8 o'clock. But I had to do what I had to do because we live a long way from here. And guess what? I'm not about to be driving and doing like I did before. He gonna learn. I'm about to leave his tail. So let me go tell his people where he at or where I last saw him. I call the grandparents, grandma answers. I tell her I apologize for calling her that late at night, tell her what's going on. And she's like, well, let me give him a call and see what's going on. Okay. I left. I've notified somebody, somebody got to talk some sense into him. Maybe they can, send him a cab, send somebody else to come get him. All I know is I'm not about to stay here because I'm not about to do this again. So I continue driving, and I think I ended up going through like the 24-hour McDonald's or something to get the kids something to eat. And I go home. Home was, I can't even tell you how many miles it was, but it wasn't close. The grandmother talked to him. She called me back. She said that, he had calmed down, and she said he needed some space or some time to think or whatever she said. I don't know. She was going to call him back. Okay, I got the kids something to eat. I'm over and done with it. Y'all, several hours later, he walked in. um Look, I'm reading the comments, y'all, and they talking about Jill's Chocolate Boutique is talking about we on lock. I gotta come to the next pajama party. We missed the pajama party because we were on somebody else's stream, and y'all know it goes, and then when it end, we in the back chat all that. Anyway, sorry y'all. Y'all know I be all over the place with my stories. Hey, L Nixon. So, y'all, I leave the man, I go home, and I'm sitting there. Several hours later, he walk in. It's like by the time he walks in, it is the wee hours of the morning. Don't y'all know that fool walked in like it wasn't no thing? He had walked, I don't know how many miles through all kinds of neighborhoods. I told y'all where he got in the car was in a suburb, but it was like a bad suburb. He walked through that suburb. He had to walk through another bad suburb until he got to like the nicer areas and then, continued on. As they say, God protect babies and fools, because God protected that fool that night and he actually made it. But I bet you he didn't try jumping out that car no more, because I wasn't about to play that game that I played the first time. So setting those boundaries is super, super important, because if you let them get away with one thing, hey, Von Bryan, if you let them get away with one thing, you best believe that they are going to come back and do that thing again, which is exactly what happened with me. I didn't set a boundary the first time he hopped out the car in traffic. So, okay, now I'm going to try it again and jump out the car, because they're looking for that sympathy. They're looking for that attention. They have to be the center of attention. I'm not participating in the game. Not tonight, not anymore. And I think that it was probably like, okay, she's not going to be nice to me anymore when I do this. So I can't do that anymore. But y'all know it wasn't over after that. He did that thing and didn't get the response. So then he had to figure out more crafty ways of getting to me. And he did. It worked. Jill's Chocolate Boutique said, exactly, Jennesis. Yes. And it's a shame, the extremes that they will go to get attention. There's so many stories, and y'all know of course I'm not gonna give them to y'all all in one episode. I'm gonna give it to you in bits and pieces, because I'm a content creator. Why would I do it all in one long story? So y'all, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna tell y'all about the threat to commit suicide in the garage. I'm gonna tell y'all about the fake heart attack or whatever it was. I don't even know, and some of the other stories. But I'm gonna keep this one short today, because I want to be able to cut this up and make some clips, because y'all, I'm trying to grow a channel. I need some subscribers. So if you haven't already, like this video, share it with somebody else, and y'all make sure y'all hit my bell so you can get the notifications when I go live, because I'm gonna pop in probably random, just like I did today, and tell some of those other stories about my life with the narcissist and how I survived it. Because y'all know I survived it. Can't keep a good woman down. He tried it, but it didn't work. I'm still here, and I'm still in my right mind. And y'all see me smiling all the time, because I am happy. I am free. I'm happy, and I'm living my best life. So it's hope. We on lock. Say Jesus. I know Jesus. It ain't nothing but God that got me to the place where I am now. I don't look, as I said before in the previous stream, I don't look like the hell I've been through, and you wouldn't know my story if I told you, if I didn't tell you. But I'm gonna tell y'all my story. So I'll be back in another episode to share more about the book of Jennesis. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. I don't know. I'm gonna be in these YouTube streets tonight somewhere. I don't know where. Um, but yeah, I'll see y'all around. It's still a little light outside, and I popped in because I was doing my motorcycle mama thing earlier today. Got off the motorcycle, popped on the stream, and I'm finna pop back out so I can get back outside before it get dark. So I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Book of Jennesis with your host, Jennesis. If you would like to be a blessing, would like to be interviewed, or if you or someone you know would like exposure for your business, call us at 708-595-7500. Again, 708-595-7500. Email at Jennesis@thebookofgenesis.com. That's JENNESIS @thebookofgenesis, JENNESIS.com, or contact us by regular mail at P.O. Box 40, Monique, Illinois 60449. Thank you again for listening to the Book of Jennesis.